Peter began that morning like any other fisherman stepping onto familiar water, except this time the water held him up, and he sank the moment his eyes left Jesus for the storm. If your heart has been staring at a storm you can't control, let's turn our eyes back to Him this morning. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, I come before you this morning with a heart that longs for rest. There are days when life feels heavier than I expected, not because I don't believe in you, but because I quietly carry responsibilities, concerns, and questions that slowly weigh down my spirit. Today, I don't want to hide those feelings from you. Peter walked toward you, one uncertain step after another, and for a few extraordinary moments, fear did not win. What changed him wasn't the wind dying down or the waves growing calm. What changed him was where his eyes were fixed. The moment he turned his attention from you to the storm around him, his footing gave way, and he began to sink. The sea had not grown any more dangerous in that instant. His focus had simply shifted. I recognize that same shift happening in my own heart more often than I want to admit. My waves don't look like the Sea of Galilee. They look like a diagnosis I'm still waiting to understand. A bank account that keeps me awake at night. A relationship I don't know how to repair. A decision I'm afraid to get wrong. Some mornings the problem itself hasn't grown any larger, but because I have stared at it for so long, it has grown larger inside of me. So today, Lord, I'm not going to pretend I have this all together. I won't perform a strength I don't feel. I won't hide how tired I've become from holding so much on my own. And I won't let shame tell me that being anxious means I don't trust you. You already know what's been sitting on my chest before I say a single word. What I'm asking this morning is simple. Even if it isn't easy, help me stop staring at the storm long enough to look at you again. Not because the wind will instantly go quiet, but because you are still the one walking toward me in the middle of it. Turn my eyes, Father. Turn my attention away from what I cannot control and back toward the one who has never once let go of my hand. I want to place them honestly before you today. Somewhere along the way, Lord, I started trying to manage things that were never mine to hold. My mind returns to the same worry again and again, circling it as if one more pass through the same thoughts might finally produce an answer. I replay conversations that already happened, wondering if I should have said something differently. I rehearse conversations that haven't happened yet, trying to guess how someone will respond before they've even spoken a word. I lie awake turning over situations that may never come to pass, as though staying awake could somehow prepare me for them. Father, help me see the difference between thinking that leads somewhere and thinking that only leads back to itself. There is a kind of reflection that seeks your wisdom and looks for the next right step. And there is another kind, one that simply spins in place, wearing down my spirit without ever bringing me closer to peace or to you. Too often, I have mistaken the second for the first, believing that if I just thought about it a little longer, I would finally feel in control. You already know where my mind has been living lately. Sometimes it is my family, and whether the people I love are safe and well. Sometimes it is my health, and questions I don't yet have answers for. Sometimes it is what's in my bank account, or what isn't. Sometimes it is my work, or my children, or a relationship that feels unsteady, or simply a future I cannot see clearly no matter how long I stare at it. None of these concerns are foolish, Lord, because they come from a heart that cares deeply. But I confess that caring has slipped into carrying, and carrying has slipped into trying to hold what was always meant to rest in your hands. I know this worry has never once changed tomorrow. It hasn't solved a single problem before it arrived. All it has done is quietly drain the strength I need for today and dim my eyes to the blessings already sitting right in front of me. So this morning, Father, I ask you to show me plainly what has been taking up too much space in my mind. Not so I can feel ashamed of it, but so I can finally lay it down. You have never scorned me for caring this much. You simply invite me to bring it to you instead of carrying it alone, because you care for me, and casting my anxiety on you is not weakness. It is where real rest begins. Lord, I don't want to spend another day living this way, gripping so tightly to things that were never mine to hold. The outcome I'm hoping for, the plan I've mapped out in my head, the timing I keep insisting on, even the people I love, wishing I could reach into their hearts and change them myself. I confess how much energy I have poured into holding on, as if letting go even a little would mean everything falls apart. But Father, I am not you. I don't have all the answers, and I was never meant to. I cannot see tomorrow before it arrives. I cannot shield the people I love from every disappointment or every sorrow, no matter how much I wish I could stand between them and pain. I cannot reach into someone else's heart and turn it toward what I believe is best. I cannot guarantee that the choice I make today will lead exactly where I hope it will. Saying this out loud doesn't feel like giving up. Lord, it feels like finally telling the truth. Help me see the difference between carrying responsibility and trying to carry control. It is right for me to do my part, to prepare wisely, to make the calls I need to make, and take the steps in front of me. But somewhere along the way, preparing turned into obsessing, and caring for the people I love turned into believing I had to carry their outcomes for them too, as if their burdens were mine to bear alone instead of yours to hold alongside me. So today, I loosen my grip, not because I stopped caring, but because I finally believe you were never asking me to hold the whole journey by myself. You only asked me to walk with you, one faithful step at a time. Surrendering to you is not giving up, and it is not sitting back and doing nothing. It is doing what is truly mine to do, and then placing everything else, the outcome, the timing, the people I love, into hands far more capable than mine. I remember, Lord, that I have stood in seasons like this before, certain I couldn't hold everything together, and somehow I was still standing at the end of them, not because I found the strength on my own, but because you were holding what I could not. Trust in you, and lean not on my own understanding. That has never meant I stop thinking or stop trying. It means I stop believing that my understanding has to be the last word. So replace my restless heart, Father, with a quiet trust that isn't loud or dramatic, but steady. Not because everything around me has changed in this moment, but because you have not changed, and you have never once let go of me. Cast my burden on you, Lord, and sustain me. That has always been your invitation, not mine to earn. As this prayer continues, teach me the freedom that comes when I finally stop trying to hold everything together and simply trust the one who already does. Lord, now that I have placed these burdens before you, teach me how to leave them there instead of quietly picking them back up. So often I pray, and only moments later I catch myself carrying the very worry I just released, turning it over in my mind as if my prayer had never happened. I say that I trust you, and yet somewhere underneath those words, I am still trying to work out every possible outcome on my own. Forgive me for treating surrender as something I do once, instead of something I return to again and again. Teach me, Father, that giving this to you is not a single moment, but a daily rhythm. I may need to hand you the same worry tomorrow, and the day after that, and that does not mean my faith failed or my prayer didn't work. Each time the worry resurfaces, it isn't proof that I've gone backward. It is simply another chance to choose trust all over again. Help me stop measuring my faith by whether the anxious thought returns, and start measuring it by how quickly I bring it back to you when it does. Teach me also to live within the boundary of today. I don't need to solve next week's problem this morning, and I don't need to shoulder tomorrow's weight before tomorrow has even arrived. So much of my exhaustion doesn't come from what is actually happening right now. It comes from a future my fear has built in my mind, one I keep walking through again and again as though it were already real. Help me step out of that imagined tomorrow and back into the only day you have actually given me, which is this one. Bring my eyes back to what is truly in front of me, Lord. The person who needs my attention today, the task that is actually mine to finish, the conversation that is asking for patience instead of distraction, the small blessing I nearly missed because I was too busy staring at what hasn't happened yet. Give me the strength I need for this step, not the strength to see every step still to come. I don't need the whole road illuminated tonight. I only need enough light for the part I'm walking right now. Help me know the difference, Father, between faith for the next step and a demand to understand the entire plan. Faith doesn't require you to hand me a map. It only asks that I keep walking with the one who already knows the way. Your mercies are new every morning, Lord, and your faithfulness is great. Not because yesterday's failures don't matter, but because you never run out of grace for the day ahead of me. So let today be enough. Let this moment be enough. And let me trust you again tomorrow, when tomorrow finally comes. Keep my heart from wandering into fears about a future that you are already holding. Lord, my mind knows how to build entire scenarios out of nothing. What if this situation gets worse? What if the answer never comes? What if I already made the wrong decision? What if the people I love get hurt? What if this door I've been hoping for finally closes for good? Each question spins into the next one before I even notice it's happening. And by the time I catch myself, I've lived through a dozen outcomes that haven't even happened. I don't want to simply trade one kind of anxious thinking for another, Father, forcing myself to believe things will turn out exactly how I hope, just so I can feel better for a moment. That isn't faith. It's still me trying to guarantee the outcome, only dressed up in hopeful words. So when I ask, what if you are already working in ways I cannot yet see? Let that be an honest turning of my mind toward your faithfulness, not a demand that you deliver the specific ending I've written in my head. You are trustworthy whether or not the story unfolds the way I imagined it would. Lord, there are moments when life feels genuinely uncertain. A phone call can change everything before I've even finished my morning coffee. Waiting on test results can fill an entire day with questions I can't answer. A job that hasn't found its footing yet can make the future feel unstable. Someone I love may be walking through something hard right now, and I wish more than anything I could carry it for them instead of just standing beside them, feeling helpless. A decision sits in front of me with no clear direction, and I keep waiting for certainty that hasn't come. In all of this, teach me the difference between doing my part and reaching for yours. My part is to pray honestly, to ask for wise counsel, to act on what I already know is right, to prepare where preparation is possible, and to take responsibility for what is genuinely mine. But it was never my part to control how someone else responds, to force a door open before it's time, to determine the outcome, or to carry the weight of decisions that only you can make. Help me release my grip on what was always yours to hold. So this morning I'm asking for 3 things. Father, wisdom for the choices in front of me, courage to act on what I already know I should do, and patience to wait well when the answer simply hasn't arrived yet. When there is nothing left for me to do but wait, keep me from making hurried, fear-driven decisions just to escape the discomfort of not knowing. I won't claim that every delay comes directly from your hand, Lord, but I will trust that even in the waiting, you have not left me, and your timing has never once failed to be enough. Father, there are people I carry in my heart even more than I carry my own worries, and I bring them before you now. I worry about them because I love them deeply, because I want to shield them from every hardship, because I wish I could stand between them and every hard season they face. And when I can't be there, when I can't fix what's broken or say the words that would make it better, I feel a kind of helplessness that only love could produce. So today, I choose to place them into your hands, not because I've stopped caring, but because I finally admit that loving them was never the same thing as being able to control what happens to them. Watch over them, Lord, in the moments I cannot. Be near them when I am far away, when a phone call is all I can offer, when there is nothing left for me to do but pray. Give them strength in the places where they feel weak, and give them wisdom when they stand in front of decisions that feel too heavy to carry alone. When discouragement settles over them, comfort them in ways I don't know how to. Send the right people into their path, someone to speak the words I cannot, someone to sit with them when I'm not able to. Remind them and remind me that they are never outside the reach of your care, even on the days it doesn't feel that way. Lord, I also confess the discouragement that creeps in during seasons like this. I have prayed, I have waited, I have hoped, and still, so much around me looks exactly the way it did when I started praying. It's tempting to believe that means nothing is happening, that my prayers went unheard, or that you've grown quiet toward me. But I think of a seed pushed into the ground, and how long it sits in the dark before anything visible breaks through the soil. Roots take shape long before a single leaf appears. What looks like stillness from where I'm standing may simply be work I was never meant to see yet. I won't claim to know exactly what you are preparing, Father, or promise myself a specific outcome you never spoke. But I will trust that you are not idle simply because I cannot see movement. Give me faith for what is unseen, the same way I already trust you for what I can plainly recognize. Let me hold both truths together, that I may not see the roots forming beneath the surface, and that you have never once abandoned what you started. Father, keep me from trying to force open doors that you have chosen to leave closed. I know how easily fear can disguise itself as determination. The fear of missing out, the fear of falling behind, the need to prove that I can still make something happen on my own. So many times I have kept pushing toward an opportunity, a relationship, a plan, or a direction I had prayed for so long, simply because I couldn't bear to let it go, even after it had quietly stopped bringing me peace. I don't want to keep running after what was never truly meant to be mine. Give me the discernment to know the difference, Lord, between a door I am meant to keep knocking on and one I need to stop forcing with my own strength. Help me tell the difference between a delay that simply requires patience and a direction I need to release for good. I won't claim to always know why a door closes. I won't say every disappointment came directly from your hand, because I don't fully understand your ways, and I don't need to pretend that I do. But when I am confused, give me clarity where you're willing to give it. And when I must let something go, give me the kind of peace that doesn't depend on understanding why. Teach me, Father, not to keep postponing my peace. I have told myself so many times, I'll be at peace once this problem is solved. I'll finally relax once the answer comes. I'll rest once the people around me change, or once this season finally passes. But you are inviting me into peace today. Before the outcome, I'm waiting forever arrives. Before the door opens or closes. Before anything on the outside looks any different than it does right now. So help me notice what is already good, Lord, instead of waiting for a future that has to be perfect before I'll let myself enjoy it. A shared meal at the table. A conversation with someone who actually listens. Laughter that fills the room for no bigger reason than being together. A friend who doesn't need me to explain everything to understand. A new morning, given freely, whether or not I earned it. Strength enough for just one more day. None of these are small. Father, I have simply been too distracted by what's missing to notice what's already here. Let me hold today loosely and gratefully at the same time, trusting that whatever door you have for me will open in your timing, and that even now, before anything changes, your presence is enough reason for peace. Lord, I know the moment when it starts. My breath grows shallow before I even notice why. My thoughts begin racing faster than I can keep up with, jumping from one unfinished worry to the next. My shoulders tighten, my jaw clenches, and suddenly I can't focus on anything in front of me because everything inside me feels like it needs to be solved right now. In those moments, help me recognize what's happening before it carries me away. Teach me to stop instead of spiraling further. Let me slow my breathing, one breath at a time, and simply say your name, Jesus, until my heart remembers what my mind forgot, that you are near, not distant, not delayed, but near, closer than the fear trying to convince me otherwise. Help me bring you one worry at a time instead of trying to hand you the whole tangled weight of everything at once. I don't have to solve it all in a single moment. I only have to bring you what's in front of me right now. Let every anxious moment become something different than it has been. Father, not a spiral that pulls me further from you, but a reminder that turns me back toward you. Let the racing heartbeat itself become a signal to pray rather than a signal to panic. Teach me the difference between peace and certainty, Lord, because I have confused them for so long. Peace was never a promise that I would know what tomorrow holds. It was never a guarantee of perfect circumstances or a life free from fear ever touching my heart again. Real peace is knowing that you will be present in tomorrow, before tomorrow ever arrives. Real peace is trusting that I will not walk through whatever comes completely alone. Real peace is believing that whatever grace I need, in the exact moment I need it, will be there, because it always has been. So today, I lay every burden down at your feet, not just the large ones, but each question I keep circling back to, each fear I haven't said out loud, each unknown outcome I keep trying to predict, each thing about the people I love that I simply cannot change. I release what I cannot carry and what was never mine to carry in the first place. Let my sense of safety come from somewhere steadier than my bank account, steadier than my ability to guess what happens next, steadier than whether the people around me approve of my choices, steadier than my own grip on control. Let it come from belonging to you, Father, a God who does not shift, who does not grow tired of me, who remains faithful long after my own strength runs out. Keep my mind fixed on you, the way your word promises. And let that fixed gaze be exactly where my perfect peace is found. As I move through this day, remind me again and again that my security was never in holding everything together. It was always in belonging to the one who already does. Father, I leave this time of prayer with a heart that feels lighter than when I began. I won't pretend every worry has vanished completely, or that I'll never feel the pull to pick them back up again. But something has shifted, because I am no longer carrying this alone. I am no longer pretending that the outcomes belong to me, no longer quietly holding the responsibility for things that were only ever yours to hold. That alone makes the weight feel different, even before anything on the outside has changed. Guide me now, Lord, through the ordinary movements of this day, the step I take next, the decision waiting for me, the words I choose when I speak to someone who needs patience instead of my frustration, the way I respond when something doesn't go as planned. Let your wisdom shape each of those moments, even the small ones I might otherwise rush through without thinking of you at all. I choose to trust you, Father, with what I already understand, and I choose to trust you with what I don't. I trust you in the places where the answer has already come, and I trust you in the places that are still quiet, still waiting, still unresolved. That trust doesn't depend on how much of the picture I can see. It depends on who I know you to be. Let me rest in your love today, not because I prayed perfectly, not because I finally said all the right words, but because your love was never resting on my performance to begin with. You are faithful, whether my faith feels strong or fragile this morning. Thank you for carrying me through seasons I thought I wouldn't survive. Thank you for staying near through nights when sleep wouldn't come and my mind wouldn't quiet down. Thank you for giving me strength on days I was certain I had none left to give. I think again of a man who once stepped out of a boat, uncertain, afraid, and yet somehow still walking, because his eyes were fixed on the one calling him forward. I want that same fixed gaze to carry me through today, not a gaze that ignores the wind, but one that simply refuses to stay locked on it. Thank you, Father, for holding what I could never hold on my own. Let me walk this day lighter, steadier, and closer to you than when it began. Lord, when anxious thoughts try to make their way back in, bring my mind to Peter again. The wind didn't die down the moment he looked at you. The waves didn't grow still. The storm remained exactly what it was, and yet everything shifted, because what he was looking at had changed. He stopped measuring the danger around him and started remembering who was standing in the middle of it. Help me do the same, Father. When my eyes fall on the waves, on the uncertainty, the unanswered questions, the things still unresolved, all I see is how unstable everything feels. But when I lift my eyes to you, I remember your power. I remember your nearness. I remember that mercy has never once run out on me. Let that be the difference in how I move through this day. So when the news comes that unsettles me, turn my eyes towards you before I let my mind spiral any further. When my thoughts begin to stretch a small problem into something enormous, remind me of who you have always been to me. And Lord, if I feel myself starting to sink beneath the weight of fear the way Peter did, reach for me the way you reached for him, immediately, without hesitation, without making me prove I deserved it first. You are not simply an example of peace for me to imitate from a distance. Father, you are the one I actually cry out to. You are the Redeemer who hears me, the mediator who carries my cry to the Father when I don't even have the words for it myself. This isn't a lesson about staying calm. It's a relationship with the one who holds out his hand every time I start to go under. Let trust become something I return to every morning, not just something I reach for in a crisis. Let me come to you before I react, before I speak, before I let worry make my decisions for me. When my mind grows restless, bring me back to your word instead of my own racing thoughts. Let me trust you not only in the storm, but on the ordinary days when the water looks calm too. And when tomorrow comes, remind me again that I don't have to carry it before it arrives. Let me receive each new day as a gift from your hand, trusting that the strength I need will be there exactly when I need it, and not one moment before. Keep my eyes on you, Lord, not on the wind, not on the waves, but on the one who has never stopped walking toward me. Father, make me a source of peace to the people around me, not a peace that pretends everything is fine, but one that has actually been tested and is still standing. Let it show up in the way I speak, gently, even when I'm tired. Let it show up in how I listen, fully, without rushing someone toward a solution before they've finished being heard. Let it show up in my patience, in how quickly I choose to forgive instead of holding on to what wounded me, and in my refusal to let fear spill out of me and onto everyone around me. Keep me from reacting in haste when tension rises. Let people see, not someone who has no struggles, but someone who has learned where to take them. Because peace was never meant to make me passive, Lord. Let it be seen in how I still show up, still make the hard calls, still take the next right step, but no longer driven by fear, no longer scrambling to control what was never mine to control. Let my life quietly say that trusting you and living fully are not opposites. And now, Father, I pray for everyone who has prayed alongside me this morning, for the one who has been anxious for months, and for the one who has carried this weight for years longer than that, for the one who hasn't slept a full night in longer than they can remember, whose mind keeps circling the same fear the moment their head hits the pillow, for the one waiting on medical results, checking their phone, afraid of what the next call might say, for the one lying awake doing the math on bills that don't add up, wondering how they'll make it through the month, for the one who is afraid of losing a job they need, for the one whose heart is breaking over their family, wondering if things will ever feel whole again, for the one still waiting for a prayer they prayed so long ago they've almost stopped believing it will be answered, for the one who has never said their fear out loud to a single person, because they didn't think anyone would understand, or because they were too tired to explain it one more time. You see the tears they cried alone, Lord, the ones no one else witnessed. You see the nights they stared at the ceiling, wondering if morning would bring any relief. You see the questions they still don't have answers to. You see how exhausted they are from having to look strong for everyone else. Meet them with your peace. Strengthen them with your grace. Remind them that they are not alone, even when it feels that way. I won't promise them healing on my own timeline, or say that every struggle will be resolved today, because that isn't mine to promise. But I will say this, and I believe it with everything in me: you have not forgotten them. You are not far from them, and they don't have to carry this by themselves. Not with you, and not without the people you've placed around them either. If they need to reach out for help, give them the courage to do it, and put someone in their path who can offer exactly what they need. Cover every person praying this morning with the same peace you are giving me right now. Lord, let them feel, even for a moment, that they are seen, they are loved, and they are held. Remind each person, Father, that they will never face what's ahead by their own strength alone, because you are walking beside them in every step, every unknown, every hard decision, still waiting to be made. Let them wake up tomorrow, knowing they don't have to carry the day by themselves before it even begins. Thank you for hearing every word of this prayer, spoken and unspoken. The ones I said clearly, and the ones that were really just tears and sighs you understood anyway. Even before I see the answers, Lord, I choose to believe you are already at work in ways I cannot yet trace. I choose gratitude before the full picture ever comes into view. And I choose to take the next step in faith before the whole road is lit up in front of me. I won't pretend that everything in my life is within my control, because I know now that it never truly was. But I can trust that everything is within yours. And for the first time in a long while, that feels like enough, instead of a fear I have to fight against. I don't need to hold every outcome to have peace. Father, I only need to know that I belong to you. So when the storms return, and I know they will, let me remember to lift my eyes off the wind and the waves and fix them back on Jesus, the one who is not merely an example of calm, but my Redeemer, my mediator, the one who carries me to the Father when I have no words left of my own. In the precious and mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Thank you for praying with me this morning. Wherever this day takes you, I pray God's peace goes with you, and that your heart finds real rest in His faithful care. If someone you love is carrying a heavy burden today, maybe this prayer is for them too. Feel free to pass it along. And if these words spoke to you, I'd love to hear it. Type below. Jesus, I trust you with what I cannot control. God bless you, and I'll see you in tomorrow's prayer.